Welcome to CypherNest, a local first cybersecurity password vault built to store credentials securely inside the user's browser. This project uses React, IndexedDB through DXC, PBKDF2 key derivation, AES GCM encryption, Google Authenticator compatible two-factor authentication, password strength analysis, encrypted backups, and have I been pwned breach checks. We are now on the vault lock screen. If this is the first time using the app in this browser, the screen asks the user to create a new vault. The user enters a master password and confirms it. The vault explains that entries are encrypted in the browser and that breach checks use key anonymity ranges. Now the user enters a master password. Next, the user confirms the same master password and selects Create Encrypted Vault. Behind the scenes, the app generates a random salt using the browser crypto API. Then it derives an encryption key from the master password using PBK, DF2 with 100,000 iterations and SHA-256. The app creates a verifier blob by encrypting a known verification string with the derived key. This lets the app confirm the correct master password later without storing the master password itself. The vault metadata is saved in IndexedDB. The metadata includes the salt, verifier data, default security settings, and two-factor setup status. After the vault is created, CypherNest immediately starts two-factor setup for a new user. We are now on the two-factor setup screen. The screen shows a QR code for Google Authenticator, a manual setup key, and a 6-digit code field. The user opens Google Authenticator, adds a new account, and scans the QR code. If scanning is not possible, the user can enter the manual setup key. Now the user enters the current 6-digit authenticator code. When the code is submitted, the app verifies it locally using the TOTP algorithm. It checks the current time window and nearby windows so small clock differences do not block valid codes. If the code is correct, the TOTP secret is encrypted with the vault key and stored in the vault metadata. From this point forward, unlocking the vault requires both the master password and the authenticator code. If the user skips setup during the first setup flow, the app allows a short grace period. After 3 days, two-factor setup becomes required before the vault can be unlocked. Now the vault opens into the secure workspace. We are now on the password vault dashboard. This page shows encrypted credential entries, a search bar, category filters, health statistics, and a credential editor. The stats show total credentials, weak passwords, reused passwords, and entries that include two-factor secrets. The search field can match title, username, URL, category, and tags. The category filter lets the user switch between groups such as personal, work, finance, identity, and servers. All credentials shown here are loaded from IndexedDB and decrypted only after the vault is unlocked. When the vault is locked, the key is removed from memory and credential data is cleared from React state. Now we add a new credential. The form asks for group, title, username, password, URL, tags, optional TOTP secret, and secure notes. As the user types the password, the app analyzes it with ZXCVBN and shows strength feedback using the gauge and radar components. Now we save the credential. Before saving, the app prepares the credential payload, adds tags, calculates the strength score, and stores an updated timestamp. The database service encrypts the complete credential payload with the active vault key. Only the encrypted blob is stored in IndexedDB, along with searchable metadata such as category, domain, created time, updated time, and a UUID. This means the sensitive fields, such as username, password, notes, and TOTP secret, are not stored as readable text. The credential now appears in the list. By default, passwords can be hidden. The user can reveal or hide passwords using the eye control. When the user selects Copy Password, the password is copied to the clipboard. The app then waits for the configured clipboard cleanup time. If the clipboard still contains the copied password, CypherNest clears it automatically. If a credential includes a TOTP secret, the dashboard can show a current one-time code for that credential. The user can copy that code as well. Now we edit a credential. The existing values are loaded into the editor. After changes are saved, the app encrypts the updated credential again and updates the IndexedDB record. Now we delete a credential. Before deleting, the app opens a confirmation dialog. If confirmed, the database removes the selected entry and refreshes the vault list. Next, let us open the password generator page. We are now on the password generator page. This screen helps users create strong random passwords. The generated password appears at the top with a copy button. The generator displays entropy in bits and an estimated crack time. It also shows a strength radar based on the password shape. The policy panel lets the user control password length from 8 to 128 characters. The user can include uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. They can also exclude ambiguous characters and similar looking characters. The minimum requirements let the user set how many uppercase letters, numbers, and symbols must appear. Whenever these options change, the password regenerates. Behind the scenes, the generator uses the browser crypto random values API, not a weak random function. It builds the allowed character pool as the required characters, fills the rest of the password, shuffles the final result, and calculates entropy. Now the user selects copy, and the generated password is copied to the clipboard. Next, let us open the audit page. We are now on the Vault Health page. This page scans the vault for weak passwords, reused passwords, old passwords, short passwords, and breach exposure. The user selects Run Audit. The audit service checks every credential. It uses CXCVBN to calculate password strength. It counts repeated passwords to detect reuse. It checks credential age to identify entries older than 180 days. It flags passwords shorter than 12 characters. For breach checking, the app uses the Have I Been Pwned password range API. The password is hashed locally with SHA-1. Only the first 5 characters of the hash are sent to the API. The full password is never sent, and the full hash is not sent either. The service receives a list of hash suffixes and compares them locally. If the suffix matches, the app knows the password appeared in known breach data and records the exposure count. The breach result is cached in IndexedDB for 1 day, so repeated audits do not need to call the API again for the same password hash. After scanning, the page shows a vault score, critical findings, warnings, and good entries. Each credential row explains the reasons behind the result, such as found in breaches, very weak password, reused password, shorter than 12 characters, or older than 180 days. Next, let us open Settings. We are now on the Settings page. The first section controls local preferences. The user can set auto lock minutes, clipboard clear seconds, and whether passwords should be revealed by default. When saved, these settings are stored in the Vault metadata. Auto lock is handled by the Vault context. While the Vault is unlocked, the app starts a timer. Mouse movement, keyboard activity, or clicks reset the timer. If the timer expires, the Vault locks automatically. When locked, the encryption key is removed from memory and credentials are cleared from state. The two-factor section controls authenticator protection. If two-factor authentication is not enabled, the user can start setup. The app generates a new TOTP secret, displays a QR code, and verifies the 6-digit authenticator code before enabling protection. If two-factor authentication is already enabled, the page shows that it is active. The user can disable it, but disabling starts a new 3-day grace period before setup becomes mandatory again. Next, let us look at encrypted backup. The backup section lets the user enter a separate backup passphrase and download an encrypted export file. When the export starts, CipherNest gathers the decrypted credentials currently available in memory and the vault settings. It then creates a backup payload with an export timestamp. The backup passphrase is processed through PBK DF2 with a new sol. The backup payload is encrypted with AES GCM and downloaded as a JSON file. The backup file includes metadata about the app, backup type, backup version, key derivation settings, salt, and encrypted payload. The restore section works in the opposite direction. The user selects a backup file and enters the backup passphrase. The app validates that the file is a CipherNest encrypted backup, derives the backup key, decrypts the payload, and imports each credential into the current vault. Imported credentials receive new UUID values before they are saved, and each imported entry is encrypted again with the current vault key. The final checklist summarizes the security features: client-only encrypted storage, PBK DF2 key derivation, AES GCM credential blobs, encrypted portable backups, authenticator-based two-factor authentication, have I been pwned ke anonymity checking, auto-log, and clipboard cleanup. Now let us log the vault. When the user logs the vault, the app removes the key from memory, clears decrypted credentials, and returns to the log screen. On the next unlock, the user enters the master password. The app derives a key from the stored salt and checks it against the encrypted verifier blob. If two-factor authentication is enabled, the app decrypts the stored TOTP secret with the derived key and asks for the authenticator code. Only after both factors are valid does the vault open. 60th day. And that is CipherNest, a cybersecurity password vault focused on private local storage, strong encryption, two-factor protection, password generation, health auditing, and encrypted backup recovery. It keeps sensitive data inside the browser, encrypts credentials before storage, and gives users practical tools to improve password security. Thank you for watching.